Welcome back, hunters. I am the SurvivalVis, and we return to our Build-A-Bowgun series for episode number 5. And today we're going to be looking at everybody's favorite electric snake squirrel, Tobi-Kadachi. Now, Tobi is a really good early monster in Monster Hunter World. He's got a pretty grounded design, he's very striking and visually appealing, he's just a very good snake squirrel. But, unfortunately, his gear does not live up to his kind of image or anything in that form when it comes down to his light bowgun. Good lord, does not match up to his image in any way, shape, or form. But that's what we're here for today, to try to make something a little more fitting for Tobi. So if you look at him, a lot of things that really stand out are those red eyes and just really his body shape and style, because he's a really unique monster in Monster Hunter. He's kind of got the same form of a Dogoron, but the little difference is, like, when you see in the concept art down here, all the spikes are shooting up with the static electricity he builds up as he goes about. He's really a monster that I want to capture, not like a really big, giant weapon with, but more like small, compact, and streamlined. Something I probably made a mistake on trying to do Nargacugas, which should have been the same as something like I'll try for Tobi. And next episode will probably be a little bit of a different episode. It's either going to be just going over, actually I'll probably include it, but a little recap into the bowguns we've done so far, but also look into how a bowgun might actually function. But anyways, given that aside, so we're going to probably use the monster icon a little bit to help us in our design, and we're also going to use the armor as well, because the armor is a really nice fitting one for Tobi. So this is the low rank, I believe. And as you can see, it uses a lot of his scaling and a little bit of fur for kind of like highlights and bordering, which I do like. And then we'll just go to his, I think this is the, I don't know if it's master rank or not, it might be, but you can see again, it's that really nice scaling that Tobi has, and then the fur really used for the highlights. So we're definitely going to be trying to put both in on his weapon. And we're going to do the light bowgun, because unfortunately, Tobi suffers a lot of that base with little parts stickered onto it. Like the bow, that one, it's probably actually one of the unique weapons for him, and I know it's not the best picture to really show it off, but this is the form just beforehand, so as you can see, pretty bland, you can easily see the bone beneath, and it's like a little skirt almost to make it his. But the light bowgun is the biggest tragedy to poor Tobi-Kadachi. This is his light bowgun. It's not even like a retexture of the original metal base weapon, it's just terrible. It does not say anything. This is Tobi-Kadachi's weapon, so that's what we're here for today in Build-A-Bowgun. We're going to give Tobi-Kadachi a more fitting weapon. So let's pull up our bowgun template and start from there. So I want to keep it very kind of compact and streamlined. So one of the things that we're probably going to start on is going to actually be the frame. And the reason why is because I don't want a lot of big things sticking out the front of the barrel. I want it more compact, tiny, almost think, I'm trying to think of some good weapons that might be an idea for it. Almost like a submachine gun or an Uzi, like something small that might have rapid fire, but is really compact, small, like that. So, first thing we got to do is a little bit of cover-up work. So, we're basically just going to do a little something like this. And there we go. Just kind of patch all this up so that way we hide the standard bow. Because this one is also going to be our first on the channel, where we're going to try to make it actually be like a vertical, or not vertical, horizontal bow limbs. So normally they kind of stick up the top like that and that. What we're going to do today is it's going to be coming along the side, which is going to be very hard to do, so I might even have to do it maybe a little more something like that. Anyway, looking at the frame to start, actually, you know what, maybe we'll even just completely cover up back here as well while we're at it. Let's give us a start right from basically nothing. There we go, and we'll fill that in as well. And just clean up those little bits. Okay, so that's basically nothing but the frame that we'll be working with to start. And if we want to have something like Toby being that really short and compact, I actually make a whole new layer. And what we'll do is we're going to turn down the opacity, or basically make it a little more translucent there. There we go, although you can kind of see how that came about. Nonetheless, we'll work with this a bit, so I do like the idea of that kind of some machine gun-esque look that we're going to go for. So, bring this back up again. So we're going to slim down that frame quite a bit. Now I want to think, what would be a good-looking barrel for Toby? I don't think anything too big. Something just really small. Well, maybe not super small, but kind of just really short and compact, like that would be good to start with. Now on the back, I think I do want to kind of give that spike a little bit. Nothing too big like I did say for Najarala or the Cantor. Just a few tiny little things like this. Enough to almost say, just like a little few spikes, just like on Toby's back. I think that's turning out okay. What I'm actually going to do here is give it what looks like a little scope of sorts. Actually, we'll probably do that one back like that. There we go, a little something like that. And then on here, I want to give it kind of like a fur top to it. So I want to see, how would that probably be best to be implemented? Looking at Toby from a few of the pictures, we want it to be almost narrowish, so maybe what we'll even do is a little thing, just kind of like these coming down of sorts. Like, not too big, just enough that... And let's say we'll do a little bit of like a staggered pattern like that. And Toby has always uses that nice bright white for his fur colors. So something like that. And while we're working here, we need a bit of a good blue. Because the scaling is all blue, and as you can see from the spikes, it's a bit more of a... I almost want to say sort of like a grayish blue, although I'm probably off on that. Something a little bit like that. So let's see. No, I think that's a little bit too bright. Need to maybe darken it a bit. Let's try this. Yeah, I think that's a good color for Toby's spikes. Something nice and small like that, and I'm just going to make a quick bright silver for the scope. And just that way it doesn't look like it's on like a little stick thing. We'll just carry that down and fill that in with that one we just made. There we go. Okay, and back to this. So we got the top together, that looks pretty good. In fact, you know what? Let me just fill everything in with white, so... There we go. I'm not looking at that eyesore for too much longer. And I'm trying to think of how we exactly want to do the limb. Because I don't want it to be like a very pronounced bow limb, like it's really curving up or down. I almost want something sort of like a... Well, here, we'll use the concept art. I want to use something sort of like how Toby has these little patches that he uses to glide around with. So that might be a little tricky to do. Something almost like this, where it's more rounded. And I want to see how the front looks. So it does look like there is a little bit of that sort of tendon and just more rigid structure that goes out. So let's try using something like that, almost like this, just that it follows the front here. And that... So we'll use a very pale blue for the folds, but we might be able to use this blue we came up with here. And just to give the kind of illusion of that going down like that. Okay. Now we need a very white teal. Maybe something like that. Let's see. There we go, not bad. And I don't think there's really... Yeah, looking in, there's not too much that really is actually decorating the flaps that follow out that he glides with, so I think we'll probably leave those pretty much like that. I do just want to do that, so that way it looks a little more closed off. I can just bring that up a bit here. And I am just going to do my little bit of, say, like a little lever or that pull mechanism on a lot of the bow guns. There, when you load, you kind of pull that back, and then it's ready to go. Something like that. We can fill that in with a nice black. Although, I'll have to try to figure out what I want to do for here. So instead of the bowline, I want the string basically be attached to that lever, because I think that seems to almost be how that kind of goes together. So if we do that like that, oh, I don't want that one, I want to keep with that. Say it goes down to there to there. There we go. And what would be a good underlaying color? Maybe that nice dark navy blue that we see in a few patches would make for a nice undertone. So let's get... Actually, let's try this blue, because I think this was the blue I was using to make a cantor. No, that's not it, I don't think. That's it, but it's not as good. And we need it a little brighter than that. Maybe something like this. Oh, I think that works pretty good. Just zoom in here and patch that up a bit. There we go. Yeah, so that looks pretty good there. The barrel will probably give that nice kind of brighter silver coloring. Okay, so I think that's the main frame put together not too badly. Get a black out again. Now, the stock, I don't want to do too fancy with, actually. I want to do something almost like a kind of world's bowguns do. But I want it to be a little more textured than other things I've done before. What I'll probably do is a little... Actually, not from there. I want to bring it up, because this is all going to be this kind of nice white fur going along. And let me just change this to a white. So that way it's almost the fur just going right along the top there. I want that to put that in. I don't want any spikes there, but I do want to try to mix in how Tobi-Kadachi has this kind of scaling pattern. So this is probably going to be a little trickier for me to put together, but if I do something like this, let me see if I can just do... No, I need to be even lighter than that. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I don't know if I even just want to... No, I don't want to do the random either. Like, let's try maybe something like this. See, oh, it's so hard to figure out how I want to do that. Okay, maybe we'll leave that for the end, and we'll instead focus on doing a little bit under here, like a handle of sorts. Something just kind of simple and goes a bit forward. Kind of like that. And we will, again, give Toby the nice white kind of fur that a lot of his armor shows like that. And maybe we'll just do a little something simple, like trigger mechanism in here. That's actually not too bad for a nice little Tobi-Kadachi looking one. Ooh. But I do want to try... I don't know how I want to do this scaling. That's going to be the really hard part here, is trying to get something that's a really good way of incorporating how those scales kind of go up like that. I almost wonder if I do something... This is probably going to be the longest part of this if I pull it off right, but... I don't think I want to do it for all of it. I think just maybe along the stalk to give it a little bit extra color of sorts. That might work okay. So this is probably going to be one of the shortest bowgun episodes I actually do, just because it's... I've really winged, well, actually I wing all of my bowgun ideas, but this one, I think because Toby actually had such a clear image of what I'd like to see for a bowgun for him, that just really came to mind a lot quicker than anything else I've done. Because I really like his weapon almost to seem like, say, well, Monster Hunter doesn't really have military-esque stuff. Well, I say that, although there's things like the Tigrex tank we worked on in the first episode. But it's more, almost think like a scout's weapon in a way. Not there, right there. Now, will this be worth it once I see the finished product? I don't know, but we'll go along until I see the end, and we'll judge from there. Little bit up here to finish up on. Unfortunately, no. That's not how it turned out as nicely as I thought it would. So we'll probably just do this. And just fill this all in. I'd really like to try to figure out a way of getting Toby to have this kind of, well, like his scaling pattern is that you see in all of his armor, but I don't think I have the skills to really do it justice to what is in my head for it. Let's just turn this down to black again and patch up some spots we missed. But overall, I think something nice, small, compact like Toby's would be a very good thing. Let me turn this back up to 100. I kind of draw this, let's say just 50 for that. So you can kind of see, this was the bigger one that, say, the Great Bowgun and one of your starter bowguns begin with for sizing. Toby's we made much smaller, but I sometimes hate working with this program trying to get the opacity all the way up. But this, much smaller, much more compact, but also I feel like it does fit Tobi-Kadachi much more. He's a very agile, very fast, and rather small monster for what you go up against. So I think this will actually be good to finish this episode off with. A little smaller than usual, but you know what? I think it's nice to have a little shorter episode here and there. And next episode for the Build-A-Bowgun series is going to be a little more unique. It's going to be more of a theory episode on how does a bowgun actually function. Because it's a weird mechanism when you breathe, well, not breathe more into it, but when you really look at the mechanics that might be behind it, like sense of physics, it's really, really strange. Actually, before I leave off, now I'm looking at it, I feel like down here might be a little too big. Now, of course, me being nitpicky. I'm sure if you guys saw the one with Tigrex, that Tigrex tank I did, probably know. No, I want that black. I'm gonna try something a little stupid here too. That I had to go back and do a little change on it because there was something that I didn't exactly like how it came out. Just do this here and see how this comes out. And this will probably definitely be the end of it. I can't tweak this over and over again until I'm happy, but something like that. There we go. That's a nice looking little simple Tobi-Kadachi, I feel. Bland enough that if any modder thought about, you know what, that is a pretty bad looking bowgun, maybe we can do something else for it. So overall, I actually really do enjoy the look of this one, although, looking again, yeah, I admit, I screwed up again. I want this to go up, and this actually to be as if it's underneath the fur. So it's kind of bent downwards in a way. Think about like crossbow, but the side limbs, instead of being a nice flat plane or like that, why did that change color on me? Instead of something like that, it's more, say, kind of triangular-esque like that. But anyway, with that done, thank you guys for joining me on another short little Build-A-Bowgun series. Next week, it is going to be that theory video, and I want to thank you all for sticking around for the end of the episode. Please remember, as always, to take care and stay alive.